G'day, g'day. How are ya? Yeah, I'm a little bit early, but I was afraid the camera would play up. You know, that's what's happened the last live stream I did. I don't know whether it was YouTube or what, but every time I started to record, it just wasn't snow on the screen, but all these lines and stuff. You know, green and blue and all this sort of stuff. But anyway, yeah, 5 o'clock. Hopefully someone will join us in the next little while. I'll probably just rave on about nothing until, just give it 5 minutes in case somebody wants to join us. But like I say, most times there's not many, little if any people watching, but that's life. I just basically talk like there's people there so people can watch it back later. So, that's about it. And it's 5 p.m, just gone 5 p.m. here, 1700 here in Eastern Victoria, Australia, Eastern Standard Time as it is now. We're all on the same time. I'm not sure what, it's not on the list actually, but what I think about it, I'm not sure when you're dealing with a worldwide audience, what's the best time to use? I mean, it's 7 a.m. in the UK, that's GMT, I know that. So, but I'm not sure. Some of the guys, some people use other time, which I can't think of off the top of my head. Maybe it's to do with aviation. If anyone knows that, let me know. Some of the guys that I watch in aviation, or one guy in particular, always uses, I can't think of what it is, but anyway. But yeah, I think the sound's working. I can see the little light flashing down the bottom. When I was having the trouble with the live streams last week, I was doing a test and it wasn't recording sound, so I don't know what was happening there. But anyway, cheers. All right, well, I just wanted to get a couple of rants off my chest, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because we all know that a lot of the times the general public gets treated like not very nicely, and I have a secret ability to sort of sense this, and I'm being serious too, anyway. But the first one is that's been happening my whole life, and I'm sure everybody would know it, and it annoys the absolute hell out of me, and that is waiting for doctors. They're supposed to be the people you can trust and rely on, but sitting for an hour in a doctor's surgery is, I reckon all of us have wasted years just waiting and waiting and waiting. If they can't, why can't they? I understand they have an emergency on the once in a blue moon, but I think they use it too much. Well, they're doing over the phone consultations at the moment, which in a way is better because at least you don't have to sit in their freaking surgery and going mad for an hour. But anyway, yeah, one guy in particular, in his wisdom, rang me 3¼ hours after the consultation was supposed to happen, and he left a message. I didn't even listen to it. Delete. I'm not, if you haven't got the decency to ring me or something earlier to let me know that you're running late or something like that, then I don't want to know you. So goodbye to him. And I used to be, the old days of family doctors, are long gone, in my opinion. They're just people, nothing to be looked up to, in my opinion, anymore. And I only go to them unless I absolutely have to. And anyway, that's it. No more. Just try and find a way around it. You know, I used to try and get appointments first thing and all that, but even that doesn't work. So I don't know. I actually, last point on that is that I said to the receptionist there not that long ago, I said, how can someone be that far behind? And she just didn't know what to say. She just said, I don't know, you know, scared of losing a job or something, I suppose. So I said, all right, well, it's not up to you. But I said, you know, don't expect me to sit around for hours and hours waiting for them to call. And the same, I gave the guy usually 3 strikes and out, but I gave this person 2, and he kept me waiting over an hour again. And I just rang the surgery up, said, that's it, I'm not waiting any longer. I'll give him an hour just because I'm sitting at home. But that's it. Even the new one has twice kept me waiting 45 minutes. Why? You know, why? I just don't understand it, you know. All right, that's that. That's doctor's rant out of the way. And I don't see anything changing anytime soon. Right, if you've watched any of my earlier videos, I don't want to go over the same crap all over and over again, but you'll know that I'm not really overly happy with this little Yi light action camera. I mean, it's probably, in all respects, it's except for the audio problem that it has in the car. Like I said, I'm not getting into that again, because I've raved on that in previous episodes. It's you know, it's not a bad little camera for what it does, and you know, and compared, it's, you know, like it's about a third of the price of a GoPro, you know. So if you, but I'm not happy about the sound. But anyway, on Amazon I bought it, which I'll never buy anything electronically ever on Amazon. Like, even if you save a few dollars, so what? You know, I finally got onto a place here in Australia where you can actually talk to a human. And I told him straight up from the start that I won't be buying anything today, but I'm looking for some advice. And he was really good. I reckon I chatted to him for 20 minutes and, you know, gave me some advice and all that sort of thing. So if I buy something from them and the service continues, I'll certainly give them a plug. But yeah, let's get back onto the rant. Amazon. Anyway, you know, you can't contact Amazon directly, you know, which really annoys me. You know, even eBay you can contact. If you buy a item on eBay, I'm not sure if you can actually send a email at support@ebay.com. I'm not sure, but if you buy something in your purchases, if the seller won't respond, you know, you can click on escalate it to a claim or something like that. Easy. I've never had a problem with eBay. The only problem I've ever had with eBay is from sellers not, you know, like I bought a turbo kit for my patrol years ago, and you know, I think it was $2.5 grand. Anyway, wait. After the date had passed, you know, that it was supposed to be delivered, I made a complaint, and it turns out this guy, I don't know how he made a profit, but it turns out he wasn't ordering them in until he got an order, you know, and so he was actually selling them cheaper than what you could from the manufacturer. Once again, I got bitten by you know, trying to save a few dollars. So anyway, I got my money back in the end, but what happened was he left, you know, because I paid him straight up, he couldn't leave negative feedback, but he left a positive feedback saying I was a prick and all this stuff. Oh, well, you know, at least it was. But anyway, so I got the money back and I bought it somewhere else. And, you know, I was going to pay somebody years ago to put it on. I've gone way off the track here. I'll get back to Amazon in a minute. But I ended up putting it on myself and made which I hadn't quite finished by the time I sold it, because probably lost interest, but an intercooler I put on the top and all this sort of stuff. And I was going to get someone to put it on, but they they didn't rip me off, but they charged me the $70 credit card fees. And once again, I can't believe that the bank sided with them. So they reckon it's okay that they don't disclose. It's turned into another rant. Banks, they reckon it's all right to rip money off you. Where you purchase something, apparently it's okay in an invoice. They don't have to disclose extra fees for credit card. I think it was $5,000. No, I can't remember. Now. It was 10 years ago or something. But anyway, I rang this four-wheel drive place up in Mornington, Victoria, and said, mate, there's an extra $70 on this invoice. What's going on? He said, that's the credit fee. And I said, well, you never told me that. He goes, oh, it's standard practice for us, blah, blah, blah. And I just said, well, I want my money back. I said, you're not getting my business. So he wouldn't give me the $75 back. So I had to make a complaint online, and they ended up siding with them. I just don't believe it. What do you call that? Is that fraud or embezzlement or something like that? They think because... Anyway, they lost out on my deal, and I'm just canning them right now. So, I wouldn't give them a bloody cent, and I wouldn't advise anyone else to either. Once the scam, I know it was only $70, but at the end of the day, I was out of the pocket $70 because I wasn't told about it, and they think it's all right. But anyway, that's life. You move on. But getting back on Amazon, you can't contact them at all. They're basically, as far as I can work out, just like eBay. They're just a wall between the seller and the purchaser. So this Yi Light is a Chinese manufactured thing, as I can work out. You can Yi Technologies online. You can find them. YI. Just Yi. And anyway, the seller, as it turns out, I think it was Yi Technologies AU. So anyway, the only way you can get it's still in warranty, but it's past the return policy time, right? So anyway, I sent the seller a message saying that this audio is playing up in the car. And Amazon says that they keep an eye on the messages, and if the seller doesn't respond in 3 days, they will get involved. Well, guess what? 5 or 6, 7 days, nothing from Amazon. So I was really not happy at all, lack of service. And anyway, I vented a little bit of anger on, of all places, Twitter, would you believe it? And they finally came back and said, oh, yeah, we're real sorry to hear with dissatisfaction. And they sent me a link, and long story short, I was able to get through to customer service. Actually spoke to a couple of humans, which were hopeless. And I've gone way past what I was going to say. But look, all I can say is about Amazon. All I can get out of them is I could post it back to them and get a refund. That's it. I suppose it's better than nothing. But I haven't sent it back for why. I'll let you know in a sec. But it's still here. So anyway, I would rather find out what's wrong with the damn thing. Why won't it? Maybe it's just cheap. Why it won't record in the car? I'm not quite sure. But anyway. That's Amazon. Wouldn't recommend buying anything electronic off them again. And also with a GoPro, if I had to spend the money, there's dealers all around the country for GoPros. So if you had any issues, you can talk with a human easily about it. But anyway, the next part of the question is I was corresponding with a woman from Yi, I assume it's a woman, it said Rose, on the emails from Yi Light. And anyway, going through all the lists of stuff, which is a bit frustrating, reset the factory defaults and all that sort of stuff, which I've done 100 times. But anyway, she said, okay, no worries. Can you send us take a photo of the close-ups? It's down here, serial number, which I did. Send it in, even a link to the video so they could have a listen to the poor quality sound in the car. And that was over a week ago, and guess what? Nothing. They've dropped off the side of the earth. So maybe they worked out that I was genuine, and they thought, oh, I just hope it's not a scam, because they've got my details, So anyway, I wouldn't recommend buying anything from Yi either, So I don't know what's going to happen there. I haven't heard back from them. I've checked the spam. It's a Gmail account, so I've checked the spam once a day, and it hasn't gone in there. Plus, I've got it redirected to my desktop, email thingamajig, But yeah, anyway, that's that, and that is about all I can say on the Yi Lite. So anyway, if I don't, I could send it back to Amazon. Probably, assuming one trusts them to give you your money back. I could send it back and get $154 AU, I think it was, now from that same seller, who obviously don't want to interact with anybody. Now you can buy them for 90, so I could do that and buy a new one, and hopefully that it's better than this one, or spend the $50 on getting an external mic, like I've said in previous videos, So anyway, I'll think about it for another week or so, and we'll see. And like I say, you can't get any sense out of Amazon. So, and just this has gone way longer than what I expected. And anyway, scams. Most scams are, I mean, we all get them, emails. Thankfully, 95% of it gets blocked in the Google spam, which is good. I mean, when you look in your spam folder, some of the stuff, your jaw drops, Anyway, the scams. So, but anyway, as a new YouTuber, so to speak, not so much new, but very non-successful YouTuber, you're always looking at ideas, and there's mobs out there that say they're affiliated or approved by YouTube. Yep, okay, whatever. Free country, do what you want. But they say to you that they can help you in all these ways. And my question to them is, if they're so good at doing everything, why the hell would they need to help others for money? May I say? So if they're so good at it, why would they do that? And one mob that there's been a few of them that I've sort of signed up to, and didn't really like it either way. So it's a lot easier to delete your account, as you may know. So usually I just put the emails into spam and just forget about it, or unsubscribe if you can. But one mob that stood out that really annoyed me was a mob called vidIQ. I signed up with them just through your Google account, and they said there's 3 different levels. You can have a free account and all that. And I said, yeah, fair enough. 90% of them, but a page come up with stats, and it had a couple of supposedly better stats than Social Blade. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll have a look, and that's all I was going to do. Yeah, I'll just look at the stats. And after a couple of days, they removed a section, and I thought it was a problem with the computer. Anyway, I tried clicking on it, just and it's a little thing come up and said, "Oh, to see this, you have to subscribe." And I thought, "Oh God, here we go." I mean, that is just outrageous. That they throw the line out, reel you in for a couple of days, and then they start take stuff that they said was free. Now then they start taking it away from you, and now they want money so you can see it again. And guess what? You can't even find anywhere to deactivate your account. I thought straight away I'm out of this joint. And for some reason they want you to on Twitter. I think it was Twitter and a couple of other SM places. They said, here's a link, support at VIQ or whatever it is. And I thought, why the hell? There must be a reason behind that. Why don't they just have a deactivate section, So I'd say sending them an email is some sort of other scam, because they'll want proof that you are who you say you are. So they'll probably want your address and phone numbers and all this stuff to try and prove who you are, to allegedly try and deactivate your account. So once again, I put all their emails into spam, and I get a bit of satisfaction here, I guess, by canning them, because I think they deserve it. But that's life. All right, that's pretty much it for the rants. Yeah, 21 minutes. That's a lot more than what I thought. But I'm still talking to myself. So it just proves, I've had this notification up on YouTube for 3 or 4 days that I was doing this stream. So that's useless. All right, now I better be quick on these. We'll be here all night. It'd be nice if I was talking to somebody, but that's life. I've done a little bit of YouTube advertising, and after a week or two, I reckon that's useless. It's sort of bizarre, They can take your money to promote your video to try and get subscribers, but you can't go the other way. Anyway, you get a lot of views on whatever videos you're promoting, like it probably improved by 200, I don't know how many percent, let's say 95% as far as viewers. One video that may have had 5 or 10 views has all of a sudden got 600 views, but the viewer retention is very low. People probably only click on it to waste your money, but they don't really watch them, and they don't subscribe. A few subscribers have come and go, but you try and read too deep into this stuff as far as people subscribing. I just heard somebody on a video I watched yesterday who's got about 80,000 subscribers, and they said that a lot of people that watch their videos aren't subscribed. So it just shows you they must be finding it in the search. Somebody with 80,000 subs is probably, if you type in camping or something like that, you're probably going to see them on the first page. So that's probably why they get a lot of views but don't get a lot of subs, where when you're someone low down the list like I am, it's both. You don't get any views or anything like that. So anyway, I'm not going to, so basically out of roughly, I think I said this last time, 40,000 impressions, I think I got 2 subs, and so that's basically useless. And the money I spent, it's just not worth it. So I'm not going to do any more of that stuff. And I'm just going to keep plodding along. And, it's a little bit disheartening, but I'm just going to keep plodding along. Hopefully, I'll get to the camp stuff in a moment. But, YouTube is some guy the other day I was watching, and he does pretty good videos. I enjoy watching most of them. Some of them are a bit boring. Not only his, all of them that I watch. Like I said, out of the 82 that I sub to, there's only about 5 or 6 that I really like. Like as soon as it's off the press, I'm ready to watch. And there's a couple sitting in my queue. Well, I don't put those in a queue because I'm going to watch them, but there's I've got a couple to watch later. So, but most of them are, and all the stuff I do is probably the same. It's just sort of watching in bed material. I mean, how many campfires can you see? And Canada's got a lot of lakes, but how many fish can you see being caught? Just I just watch them, But the thing is, somebody was complaining that that their videos aren't getting many views and all that. And look, I can understand that, but I would give my right nut to have 5,000 subscribers or even less that that would actually watch stuff. So I think that's a little bit pretentious. I wouldn't be complaining at all if if I had 10 people watching now, for instance, I reckon that would be like gold. So I think they need to just sort of chill out a bit and not be so pretentious, because there's a hell of a lot of people out there that would wish they could at least just have some views, So, and I don't think there's any right or wrong ways with YouTube. I think you just got to, well, people say there is, but, if there was a perfect way of doing it, everybody would be doing it, But what is hard to believe is the more subscribers you have, the more viewer retention you have, just the more views, basically. If you type in camping, the further you're going to be up the list, and it's I don't know how their algorithms work, but you can't guarantee anything. All I can guarantee is, and all you can say is, the more successful YouTuber you are right now, you can guarantee you're going up the list. I mean, there's one guy in particular who's a camping guy. I think the one video has had like 500,000 views, and that would be sensational for him, and even for someone like me. But what made YouTube put that video up the list? That's what I would like to know, and I guess millions of other people would like to know that too. I mean, I've watched it, and it doesn't seem any different to any other video he does. Same old. But just for some reason, YouTube picked that video up, and that's why, obviously people watch that, and then they've jumped on board. I'm not sure how many subs he's got. I don't know, 10,000, something like that. Like I say, from my point of view, that's fantastic. I'd love to have that. But and I think one thing that I do think is probably a better way of going, a lot of which I've read, a lot of new YouTubers. I mean, I've been around YouTube a long time, but I've only been doing videos on and off for about a year. But they reckon to stay on focus of a topic, So if people like camping, they can come back to your channel, which makes sense. And they say a lot of early people like me try and cover all bases, which probably doesn't work, So that's why I've been trying to get back into the camping. But anyway, just to touch on the campsites, as I said in I think I said it in the video last week, but the original spot I was going to get, I couldn't go in there for list of reasons, which is fair enough. I totally understand it. But he was trying to put me on to another place that he goes to for whatever reasons. So anyway, I haven't heard anything back, so I'll give him a ring the middle of next week and see what's going on. If there's no if he doesn't ring me back or something, then obviously it wasn't meant to be. So I don't know what I'll do after that. I don't know. I might have to do. I mean, I tried doing some investigating online, but I just ended up with more questions and answers, to be honest with you. Just confusing, just confusing as far as where you can go and where you can't. And You know, somebody said on the TV, I don't know how true this is, but up in the high country here, they reckon it's slowly just, you know, the greenies or whatever carry on about wild horses up there. And somebody said, well, they shouldn't be worrying about the damn horses. They should be worrying about all the people decimating the place with four-wheel drives these days, you know. So, you know, certainly I wouldn't like to be up there doing camping videos with all this other stuff going on. That's one of the reasons why I wanted something private. But anyway, we'll just wait and see. I'm just basically, I did a video a few days ago where I just went about 20 minutes from here. I just happened to be looking on the map. It said Crown Land, and I've been past this certain spot 1,000 times, but it was just too small. I'll put that video up in a couple of days when I could be bothered getting around to it. I mean, it was too small, to be honest with you, too small. And there was a house sort of off the side, and I thought to myself, well, that doesn't make sense. This is where you can't believe maps, you know. It said it was Crown Land, and it wouldn't be Crown Land if there was a house on it, you know. Maybe they put up an offer to buy it, and the good old government said, yeah, okay, we'll take the money. I don't know how it works, but anyway, I'd have to get. I mean, I'd have to get quite a bit of gear, you know, to camp, I suppose. But I'm just looking at what I've got here. A light. I mean, I've got a chargeable torch here. That's all I'd use for a while. But most of the guys have got their O-light seems to be the go for lights and that sort of stuff. At least in the UK, O-light. So their advertising is working because it's got back to me. So I might invest in one of those in the future. I might like to do some cooking in the future. Nothing too extravagant. I don't eat much these days. I've actually lost quite a bit of weight, so I used to be quite a bit heavier. Still got more to go, but yeah, I don't eat much, so I probably wouldn't be cooking that much either. So, but I like to do just some cooking. I must admit that's the part of the camping videos I like, is for some reason the fire and the cooking is what I like, you know. I mean, you see the shelter builds. I probably won't be doing any of that. We don't seem to have straight trees in the Australian bush. It's all just gum trees, you know, which are sort of all over the place. You know, I'm sure someone will tell me wrong, but that's good. Yeah, playlists. I wonder why I started doing playlists. Like I said, I've been reading things that possibly can help your channel. So I've made playlists, publicly seen playlists where you can put, you know, camping stuff in outdoors. And my last video was on a review on the auto transmission on the Isuzu, so that'll go into reviews and tech or something like that. But by default, you play saved later and save later, and what's the other one? There's another one. And your favourites, yes, two defaults that I mean, you can change them, I think, but defaults, they're private. So I wonder if I should make them public. Does it really matter? You know, I mean, I've got nothing to hide in there. It's just camping, cooking, and stuff like that. You know, just average punters. I mean, it might help them if people visit their site via me, but it probably won't help me. Surprise, surprise, because anybody, like I said, anybody at the bottom in YouTube is at the bottom. You know, you got to just be persistent, I think, and then hopefully one day somebody picks up your video. I made a comment for, you know, I'm just making observations. Alexis Outdoors, she's in Canada, and I think she's got 83,000 subs or something like that, and only 59 videos. Like that's I don't know. I assume they're just all camping. I probably only followed her for a year or something, but that's a pretty good effort. for 59 videos and 83,000 subs. Like, I'd love to know what her secret is. That's pretty good, you know. I mean, I think I've got 52 probably lame videos, and yeah, I know that the twisters out there are going to say, yeah, just answer my own question. That's right. But you just got to keep trying, you know. It's just, I'm just going to keep putting them up there, and I'll probably go through stages again where I'll get sick of it. But yeah, I'd like to know what her secret is, because, you know, they're just camping videos, you know. They're just anything different to someone like Joe Robinette. I mean, they're all just the same, you know. So, but Joe's, I should have mentioned Joe, because Joe is probably at the pinnacle of bushcraft and camping. But, you know, there'd be people out there with that have done 60 videos would probably be lucky to have, you know, 2,000 subs, or, you know, in my case, 1,500, and there's just, and I'm just talking out loud here. I'm not saying anything bad, and for those people who do watch the stuff, I appreciate it, but 99.9 just not interested. So, you know, and I only sub to people that I like to watch, you know. I guess people out there might have thousands and thousands and thousands of subscriptions, and, you know, who knows why. There's no limit on it, I guess. So, but yeah, but anyway, but look, I've fallen way behind. I think I've got even more in the queue now, about 300. So that's probably why I leave comments on a video after like 2 or 3 months, because that's when I've got around to watching them, you know. And I'm pretty religious. I like to watch them, you know. I will admit I've started a back burner folder, you know, just put some stuff in there, and if I use up my if I watch all the stuff in the main list, then I'll go over to that, you know. So yeah, playlist private. Yeah, so I missed out on Simon, A Bloke in the Woods. I missed out on one of his buck saws. Unfortunately, I wanted one badly, because I don't really have one, so I'm going to have to buy something. Don't know how it works, but Etsy or something, ETSY. I'd never heard of it until I saw his link. But anyway, I was just sitting there at the time that he was putting them on. I don't know how many it was, a dozen or so. I just sat there refreshing, and anyway, one came up, and like I said, I don't know how it worked, but anyway, I managed to add it to the basket, and I got it into the basket. But as soon as I clicked on checkout or whatever it was, it said that item's been sold. And I'm like, oh well, that's the end of that. So hopefully Simon makes some more in the future. I did offer to pay him up front if he'd make me another one, but he said he's busy and all that. But that's fair enough. But that's all right. I'm waiting to get a permission to camp somewhere or find somewhere before I spend too much money on all that sort of stuff, you know. I just, you know, like I've said, I'm not rich, so I don't want to spend a heap of money and waste it, basically. So basically, when I've got somewhere to go, that's when I can start ramping things up. Well, if you've seen a couple of videos ago that I put the tent up, so that was actually quite pleasant. Actually, I enjoyed that. It was the tent's pretty good. Yeah, I didn't mind it at all. You know, perfect for car camping. It sets up in a flash. I mean, a lot of I didn't have that on any of our outback trips years ago. We used to just, you know, put up a traditional tent basically, and after a hard day's slog of driving, and last thing you feel like doing is setting bloody tents up. So this seemed to be perfect. for that. So, and it's probably 10 years old. They're probably even better now. So, but you know, you can have that thing up in probably under 2 minutes, I reckon. 6 pegs, that's it. As you saw in the video, it just pops up, 4 pegs, that's it. You put your stuff in and that's it. You know, so that was, yeah, so I don't need a tent. I've got a list going here, but I'll probably make a video out of the stuff I do have. I had just a quick scratch around the other day, and I found I do still have it. It's a not stainless, galvanized kettle thing where you put the fire on the inside to boil your water. I did see that, so I'm happy I've still got that. But I'll probably get all the stuff out that I've got and document it, probably do a video on it, tell some stories about it, if it, you know, just stuff like that. But yes, you probably heard me saying, and this is the last on the list, the editing. Yeah, I remember some guy, Bushcraft Life, I think's his channel, Dan in the UK. I remember him saying a while back that he really enjoys the editing, you know, and he's good at it. Some of them get a little bit carried away with it, just in my opinion, you know. I'm not going to mention, I'll just mention my style. My style of editing is like, and I'll mention Joe Robinette because anyone that ever comes across this, 99% would have seen Joe. So that style of editing I like, just plain, nothing flash. That's what I like, you know. But there's one or two, just, and they're smaller guys too. I just got sick of the editing. It was just, I don't know, I just couldn't stand it. It was like being in a washing machine. It was cuts, and then you think, oh, there are more bloody cuts, you know. So I just unsubscribed. Sorry, you know, I used to like this guy too, so I just don't get his editing. So, but as Dan from Camp Life Bushcraft, I think that's what it is. I should put all these guys in the links, but I 42 minutes. I doubt very much anyone will probably get this far in the video. But as I've worked out little bits of editing here and there, that it is actually not that bad to do it. It's sort of an accomplishment when you watch it back how it all sort of folds into place. I mean, my editing is just very, very basic, you know. I had an MP. I was just playing with it the other day. I'll probably get back on it tomorrow. It's just been a bit of stuff going for the last couple of days, but I was, long story short, I got a MP4 video. Oh, it's a music track, you know, and I just tried adding that, and it won't load into the editing software. So I don't know why. I mean, MP4 is the most common thing in the world, you know. So I don't know why it wouldn't. Something flashes up, and you know, it doesn't make sense to me. So I'll have to turn to Dr. Google. But yeah, I was just going to have a play with this soundtrack. It's somebody uses it a lot out there. And you know, I don't even just think I'm copying, but I might use it. Actually, the way this guy uses it is you know, really good. It suits his genre, and it's probably not so much for outdoorsy stuff, but I don't know, I might just play it, and you know, maybe I'll put a word out on the video. I'll give you $100 if you can work out who uses it. But then again, that's probably opening a can of worms, because this guy that uses it, he's the only one that I've heard use it, and there's probably, you know, millions of people that use the same soundtrack. So I probably shouldn't worry about it too much. I assume you're allowed. I mean, I couldn't find it on any sort of free playlists. I had to sort of download it myself, but this particular person just credits them in the credits at the end. So I assume that's allowed. I don't know. But all right, that's where I'm going to end it. End it. And yeah, basically, I'm just going to keep plodding along. And like I said before, it's about the journey. You know, nobody really knows what people want out there. Once again, if we all knew what people wanted on YouTube, it'd be a hell of a lot easier. But I'm just going to try and not, sort of, it can get to you if you let it get to you. Just the stress of trying to work it out, So you're better off just doing what you want to do. I mean, no one will ever watch these probably, but I just like doing it. So why not? Why not? Didn't really feel like doing it earlier today, to be honest with you. So, but anyway, that's another live stream done, and another video with no one watching. But well, there's one up there, but I'm assuming that's me. And anyway, all right, all the best, and yeah, I'll have another video out in a couple of days. I don't know, it might even be tomorrow. It's from a few days ago, so nothing's really changed since that video. I think I was saying there about hearing from a guy about somewhere to set up a camp, but basically I just go and look at a bit of Crown land, which it's actually too small, but and like I said just before, there's a house there. So anyway, all the best, and look after yourselves out there. And yeah, well, technically we're still not allowed to go out and do stuff like camping apparently, but you can play golf now, so that's all that matters apparently. But anyway, I don't know. Knowing my luck, I'd probably get fined. So, but anyway, that's life. All the best. Take it easy, and I'm definitely going to end it here instead of more raving. 47 minutes is enough. And take it easy. We'll see you soon. Cheers. Got to hit the end stream. No worries. See you here. Yes, I want to end it. Bye.